The cables ran like veins through the walls, pulsing with the silent hum of information. Deep inside an unmarked AT&T facility, a room with no name existed, its entrance secured by biometric locks and hidden behind layers of bureaucracy. Few people knew of its existence, and even fewer had ever stepped inside. Those who did understood the weight of what they were part of. Mark had been a technician for over 20 years. He had seen networks evolve from clunky landlines to the sleek, invisible web of fiber optics that now carried the voices of millions. But when he was assigned to a secure project in San Francisco, he began to suspect that the company he worked for was more than just a service provider. His job was simple: install a splitter that would copy all internet traffic passing through the facility and reroute it to a locked server room known only as Room 641A. He wasn't supposed to ask questions, but curiosity gnawed at him. Late one night, long after the facility had emptied out, he accessed the restricted logs. The amount of data being siphoned was staggering: emails, phone calls, video streams, private messages, all flowing to a system beyond the corporate network. He traced the destination. The NSA. That was when he realized the truth. AT&T wasn't just cooperating with the government. It was facilitating mass surveillance. Every word spoken, every site visited, every transaction made, it all passed through invisible hands before reaching its intended destination. This wasn't just about foreign threats or national security. Americans, ordinary citizens, were being monitored in real time. The revelation sat like a stone in his stomach. He wasn't the first to uncover something like this. Echelon, a Cold War relic, had long been suspected of eavesdropping on global communications, but this was different. This was everywhere. The lines between corporate interest and government oversight had blurred until they were indistinguishable. Mark knew he had two choices: look away or expose what he had seen. But he also knew what happened to people who spoke out. Careers were ruined, reputations smeared. Still, he couldn't shake the feeling that if no one did anything, the walls of secrecy would grow stronger, the eyes watching would multiply, and soon, there would be nowhere left to hide. Long before Mark discovered the hidden network, there had been whispers of secret deals between tech giants and the government. The Patriot Act had opened the floodgates, allowing intelligence agencies to collect data without warrants, but that was just the beginning. The Hemisphere Project gave law enforcement access to decades of call records, a vast archive of personal connections built with AT&T's silent compliance. PRISM allowed the NSA to tap into the servers of Google, Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook, turning the internet into a surveillance grid. FISA courts rubber-stamped mass data collection under Section 702, granting intelligence agencies the power to spy on Americans under the guise of national security. And through it all, telecom giants played their part, either willingly or under the weight of government pressure. At a remote NSA facility, deep within the Utah desert, rows of supercomputers hummed. Data flowed in from across the country, filtering through algorithms designed to flag potential threats. Phone calls were transcribed, emails scanned for keywords, social media profiles mapped out like spiderwebs of influence. A single person's digital footprint could be reconstructed in seconds: where they had been, who they had spoken to, what they had searched late at night when they thought no one was watching. But someone was always watching. It wasn't just about counterterrorism anymore. Protesters, journalists, political dissidents, all had found themselves entangled in the net. National security letters forced companies to hand over user data in secret, threatening legal consequences if they so much as whispered the truth. Employees at these corporations, people like Mark, were forced to comply, trapped in an ethical gray zone where questioning orders could mean career suicide. One by one, the safeguards of privacy fell. First, it was foreign threats. Then it was domestic extremists. Then it was everyone. And yet, most people remained unaware. The programs had been leaked, the warnings had been given, but life continued as it always had. Convenience outweighed caution. Phones stayed glued to hands, smart devices filled homes, and voices echoed endlessly into the digital void, trusting that their secrets were safe. But secrets were currency, and the watchers were always listening.